Allison's escape. While Dr. Lawrence Gordon was chained in the bathroom, his wife Allison was also in danger. Zepp, Jigsaw's pawn, had one simple order. If Gordon failed to kill Adam, Allison and their daughter would die. But Allison wasn't helpless. Quietly, she loosened the ropes holding her wrists. Most people would have bolted the second they were free, but Allison did something smarter. She stayed still, pretending she was still tied up. When Zepp came in to finish the job, he got a surprise. Allison leapt at him, grabbed his gun, and even stabbed him with scissors. She bought precious seconds, enough for Detective Tapp to intervene. She and her daughter walked away alive, a rare victory in Jigsaw's cruel world. Daniel's fake out. The gas house was chaos and Xavier had lost all control. Amanda and Daniel Matthews were cornered, no escape in sight. So, Daniel tried a risky move. He played dead. Amanda backed him up, pretending he was gone. Xavier fell for it, letting his guard down. Suddenly, Daniel jumped, kicked Xavier's leg, and armed himself with a saw. It wasn't just brave, it was calculated. In a house designed to break everyone, Daniel used deception to survive. Eric Matthews' smash. Eric Matthews' fate was far darker. After being captured during the events of Saw 2, Amanda Young dragged him to the same filthy bathroom where Dr. Gordon once suffered. Eric was chained to the pipe, just like Gordon. But unlike Gordon, Eric never escaped. Amanda left him there, cold and broken, his pleas echoing in the dark. When fans saw him again in Saw 4, his body was still chained, proving he never managed to free himself by cutting or smashing his foot. Eric's smash escape doesn't exist in canon. It's a false memory some fans mix up with Dr. Gordon's desperate act. In reality, Eric's story ends with one of the bleakest twists in the franchise, abandoned in the very room where Jigsaw's legacy began. The closet shot. Detective Allison Carey wasn't just tough, she was sharp. The second she noticed she was being filmed inside her own home, she reacted fast. No hesitation. She aimed her gun and fired straight into the closet, assuming the intruder was hiding there. Quick, precise, smart. The only problem? Jigsaw and Amanda were one step ahead. The closet was empty. She was ambushed anyway. But her instincts were sharp, proving she wasn't like the others who froze in fear. The dog decoy. Officer Daniel Rigg faced one of the strangest tests in the series. At the Alexander Motel, he needed to capture Ivan, a dangerous predator, but brute force wasn't enough, so he used a decoy. Rigg let his dog wander, knowing Ivan would panic if it disappeared. Ivan rushed outside, only to find the dog calmly sitting with a pig mask, and that's when Rigg made his move. It was simple, clever, and effective. Sometimes the smartest decisions in Saw weren't about surviving traps, but about outsmarting monsters in human form. Simone's sacrifice. The flesh weight trap remains one of the most disturbing and unforgettable moments in the entire franchise. Simone and Eddie, two business partners with their own shady past, woke up chained side by side, metal devices strapped to their heads. The rule was cruel but clear. Whoever offered the greater weight of flesh would live. The loser would be executed on the spot. The countdown started. Eddie, panicked and sweating, believed his size gave him the advantage. He hacked away at his stomach, throwing bloody chunks onto the scale. With every second, he thought survival was within reach. But Simone wasn't panicking. She realized something Eddie hadn't. No matter how much fat he carved away, he couldn't match the sheer weight of bone and muscle. So, she made a devastating choice. With one strike, she severed her entire arm. The scale tipped instantly. The machine confirmed her victory. Eddie was executed. It was brutal, terrifying, and extreme, but it was also genius. Simone had turned hopeless odds into survival with one horrifyingly clever decision. The deadly betrayal. The glass trap looked simple at first. Brad and Ryan, two men in chains. Dina, the woman who betrayed them both, suspended above a saw. The rule was cruel. If the men refused to fight, Dina would be sliced in half. But if they pushed against each other, one of them would die, while the other survived. Dina, thinking she still had the power, tried to manipulate them. She begged, lied, whispered promises of love. For a moment, it looked like she might get away with it. Until the two men looked at each other. They realized the truth. She had played them both. Without a word, they turned the saws on Dina. It wasn't noble, it wasn't clean, but it was smart. They didn't just survive the trap, they ended her control once and for all. And the crowd outside, they watched in stunned silence as the glass filled with blood. The reverse bear trap escape, the infamous device that started it all, finally returned. This time, it wasn't strapped to a random victim. It was locked onto Mark Hoffman himself. Jill Tuck, John Kramer's widow, set it up perfectly. She captured Hoffman, restrained him, and left him with no chance to escape. Or so it seemed. The countdown began. Metal jaws spread wide, ready to tear his face apart. Hoffman fought like an animal. He smashed his hand against the trap, breaking bones just to slip out of the cuffs. But then, he spotted a doorframe. In the final second, Hoffman jammed the device between the bars, stopping it just enough to survive. The aftermath was gruesome. Half his face was shredded. But he lived. In a franchise built on hopeless endings, Hoffman proved survival was still possible, if you were ruthless enough. The death carousel, 6 victims, 1 shotgun, and only 2 could be saved. William Easton, the man forced to make the decision, could barely breathe as the carousel spun. One by one, each person begged for their life. The barrel of the gun clicked closer. Then Emily spoke. Unlike the others, she didn't just scream, she pleaded. She told William about her children, about the life that depended on her survival. Her words cut through the chaos, and in a moment of clarity, William chose her. He hit the button, saving her life. It was quick thinking. Desperation turned into persuasion. Emily proved that in Jigsaw's world, sometimes your voice was the only weapon you had. But the carousel kept turning, and the screams kept echoing. Dr. Gordon's final move. Everyone remembered the shocking image of Dr. Lawrence Gordon sawing off his own foot in the very first film. But what happened next remained a mystery for years. The truth? It was darker than anyone guessed. Bleeding and broken, Gordon crawled through the halls, desperate to live. That's when he saw it. A steam pipe boiling hot. He knew what had to be done. He pressed his open wound against it. The pain was unbearable, enough to make him pass out instantly. But it worked. The wound was cauterized. Later, Jigsaw himself found him, nursed him back, and even gave him a prosthetic leg. The doctor who once sawed off his foot had made the smartest move of his life. He traded agony for survival, earning John Kramer's twisted respect. Logan's revelation. 2 men, collars strapped with laser cutters. The rule was simple: confess your sins or die. Detective Halloran, cocky as ever, let Logan Nelson go first. He watched, convinced Logan had just been sliced to pieces. Halloran thought he had won, until Logan stood back up, not dead, not even touched. The real twist came crashing down. Logan revealed the truth. He was Jigsaw's first apprentice. The trap had never been meant for him. It was all a trick to make Halloran confess. And when the lasers turned on for real, there was no escape. Halloran's arrogance sealed his fate. Logan walked away, alive and victorious. Agent Perez's faked death. The blast looked real. Too real. When Agent Lindsay Perez leaned in close to examine Billy the puppet, it exploded in her face. Everyone thought she was gone. The audience did too. But Perez wasn't dead. Not even close. The FBI staged her death, letting her vanish into the shadows. It was a brilliant deception. Even her fellow agents believed the lie, which gave her the perfect chance to keep investigating Mark Hoffman without his suspicion. When she finally returned, it wasn't just shocking. It was proof that in Jigsaw's twisted world, the smartest move wasn't always survival. Sometimes it was making everyone believe you were already gone. 12 moments and 12 decisions. Each one a reminder that in Saw, survival isn't about strength, it's about cunning. From Allison's escape to Agent Perez's fake-out, the franchise has shown us that the smartest move can mean the difference between life and death. But here's the question. Out of all these clever decisions, which one do you think was the most brilliant? Because in Jigsaw's world, the game never truly ends. And just like Saw, we always come back.